Welcome to the reading of the Canton Repository for Wednesday, April the 7th. My name is Pam. Let's begin with the area deaths. Brian Best passed away unexpectedly April 1st in his home at the age of 51. Calling hours will be held on Friday at Reed Funeral Home on Raff Road in Canton from 5 to 7 p.m. with a private service for immediate family to follow. Carolyn Bird, former Canton native, evangelist, singer, composer, conference speaker, and Broadway alum, passed away March 22nd. A memorial service will be live streamed April 20th at 1 p.m. at somervillefuneralservices.com. Don Renee Carr Bentley, age 52, peacefully went home to be with the Lord March 29th. Services will be held at Greater Bethel Apostolic Church in Canton. Visitations will be Thursday 10 to 11 a.m. and funeral services will begin at 11 a.m. Mask wearing and social distancing practices are required. Her arrangements were handled by Roden Memorial Home Incorporated. Janet K. Kassler, age 94 of Canton, went home to be with the Lord March 26th. A memorial service will be held April 27th at 11 a.m. at St. Paul's Episcopal Church in downtown Canton. Friends may call April 26th from 5 to 7 p.m. at the Arnold Funeral Home in Canton or 30 minutes before the service in the church. Burial will be in Forest Hill Cemetery. Because of COVID-19 protocols, please contact the church at 330-455-0286 prior to the service for information on any attendance limitations. Ronald Harry Fuller, age 57 of Alliance, died April 4th at Altman Hospital, Canton, following a brief illness. Family and friends may visit from 3 to 5 p.m. Saturday with a sharing of memories at 4 p.m. at Cassidy Turkle Christian Funeral Home. Friends and family may share condolences and memories online at www.ctcfuneral.com. Norma Grace Kopko unexpectedly passed into eternity on Holy Saturday, April 3rd, at the age of 83. Family will receive friends Friday from 5 to 8 p.m. at the Anthony Funeral Home, Kuchko Anthony Kurtz's Chapel in Akron, with a Parasos service at 7:30. Funeral services will be held at 10 a.m. and on Saturday at Holy Ghost Ukrainian Catholic Church in Akron. The service will be live streamed at the funeral home website. Private interment at All Saints Catholic Cemetery in Braddock, Pennsylvania. Sue Ellen LaRue passed away April 3rd with her daughter by her side. Due to the current restrictions, there will be no visitation. A celebration of life with social distancing will take place on Thursday at 1 p.m. at the Reed Funeral Home, North Canton Chapel. Anita M. Lopez, 51, passed away on March 26th. Visitation will be held from 11 to 12 on Friday at the Greater Bethel Apostolic Church, where services will be held at 12 p.m. Interment will take place at Sunset Hill Burial Park. The family kindly requests that they are not receiving food. Donald Rock C. Miller, the family will receive friends on Thursday from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Paquillet Funeral Home. Funeral services will be held on Friday at 10:30 a.m. in the funeral home. Interment will be in Oakwood Cemetery April 12th at 10:30 a.m. Continuing with COVID-19 precautions, all attending will be asked to follow proper social distancing protocol and masks are required. If you are not feeling well or if you have a compromised immune system, you are encouraged to stay home. Richard Dick Morin, age 87, started his eternal life in heaven on Easter Sunday, April 4th. Friends and family will be received from 5 to 7 p.m. on Friday at Hopkins Lawver Funeral Home in Uniontown. On Saturday, friends and family will be received outdoors under a tent from 1 to 2 p.m. on the grounds of the chapel in Green. The outdoor funeral service, also open to family and friends, will follow immediately. Social distancing, face masks, and COVID-19 protocols will be in place. Harold Russell Richard Jr., age 87 of Sandyville, went to his forever home on the evening of March 16th, following a day spent with many who loved him. A memorial service will be held at 1 p.m. on Saturday at Grace Baptist Church in Canton. Friends and family may also visit from 12 to 1 at the church. A graveside service will be held Saturday at 10 a.m. in Greenlawn Cemetery in Sandyville. Lillian F. Raudenbush, age 96, of Canton, passed away April 5th. A private family viewing will be held Friday in the Formet, Clevenger, and Gordon Funeral Home. Interment in Forest Hill Cemetery. Verl L. Slutz, age 77, of Canton, passed away March 25th. A memorial service with full military honors will be held April 10th at 11 a.m. in East Sparta Christian Church. The family will receive friends in the church fellowship hall immediately following the services. Raymond B. Spiker, age 68, of Maslin, passed away on Sunday at home surrounded by his loved ones. Per his wishes, there are no calling hours or services arrangements entrusted to the Mark Vrabel Funeral Home. And now that concludes our area deaths, and let's move on to our first article. Coroner, either bullet would have killed Morgan Fox, by Cassandra Nist. Trial testimony continued Tuesday in last year's shooting death of Morgan Fox. Jason McDermott, 29, is accused of fatally shooting his 29-year-old co-worker twice in the head and leaving her for dead on a rainy October morning. County prosecutor on Tuesday called as witnesses 3 of Fox's and McDermott's FedEx co-workers, as well as the physician who performed Fox's autopsy. Cuyahoga County Medical Examiner Officer Dr. David Dolanak and Fox suffered 2 gunshot wounds to the head, and that both shots were each individually considered to be fatal, meaning Fox would have died from either. The death was ruled a homicide. The defense is expected to start calling witnesses on Wednesday. McDermott, who has pleaded not guilty, faces aggravated murder. Victim of the February 28th Bethlehem Township house fire is identified. The Stark County Coroner's Office has confirmed the identity of the victim of a fatal fire in February as 18-year-old Chase Rogers. Investigator Rick Walters said identification was confirmed by the Ohio Bureau of Criminal Investigation through DNA. Rogers, who had a bedroom in the basement of the home, became trapped in the lower level when a fire broke out at his family's home at 10216 Erie Avenue Southwest at 1:28 a.m. February 28th, investigators said. 2 adults escaped from the burning home and tried to rescue the victim, but were turned back by flames, officials said. When firefighters arrived, they began a defensive attack. Shortly after they arrived, the home collapsed. Rogers' body was recovered hours later. A dog was also recovered from the scene. 8 fire departments battled the blaze. North Canton, shrinking its outdoor drinking district footprint, by Jessica Holbrook. You may soon be able to enjoy your craft beers and adult milkshakes outdoors. North Canton City Council has modified plans to create a DORA, or a designated outdoor refreshment area. Council approved sending the legislation out of committee and up for a first vote next week. Council approved legislation late last year to establish a DORA along nearly the entire length of Main Street. The revised legislation would limit the DORA to a section of the city center, largely along the South Main Street between Whitwer Street Northeast and Bachtel Street Southeast. It would also include parts of Whitwer, Bachtel, Ream Street Northwest, East and West Maple Streets, Bitzer Street Southeast, McKinley Avenue Southeast, Pearl Place Southwest, and Harmon Street Southwest. Eligible businesses within that footprint will be able to sell alcoholic beverages in designated cups that patrons can take outside as long as they stay within the DORA footprint. We thought that with the bulk of activity right here, we could shrink the district in its first year of operation down to really where all the action really is and see how that works, said Director of Administration Patrick DeOrio, adding that the city can modify the district in the future. The district was originally larger because a DORA is required to have a certain amount of liquor permit holders. The city identified an additional liquor permit held by Board Game Cafe Sapphire City downtown, allowing them to create a smaller, more centralized district, DeOrio said. Other eligible businesses include Pob's Creamery, El Rincon Mexican Restaurant, and Howlin' Bird. The smaller footprint will be easier and less expensive to manage. The city originally budgeted $27,000 for trash cans and signs, but will now spend $9,000 on those items, he said, noting that the city received a good price for the trash receptacles. The Dora would operate noon to 11 p.m. Wednesday through Saturday. The modified legislation would also charge a higher price for the Dora cups. Councilman Mark Cetera, at large, argued that the Dora should be limited to only special events instead of operating every weekend. That way, the city won't need to worry about extra policing and can remove unsightly trash cans when they aren't needed, he said. The North Canton Police Department has approved a Dora safety plan that does not involve extra officers or overtime, DiOrio said. We're trying to build our tool chest. This is one of those little extra things. It's not the major thing, it's just an added amenity to give these small businesses that got abused all last year through this simple little COVID exercise, said Councilman Dominic Fonte, Ward 4. We want to make sure they know we're doing something. Council approved sending the legislation to a vote at its next meeting, 7 p.m. Monday. They also agreed to schedule a Dora review for early September. In other business, discussed legislation that would create a zoning for Main Street's Second Century Plan and repeal the current Main Street Business District. The legislation is also up for consideration by the Planning Commission this month. Council will continue that conversation at its next committee meeting, April 19th. Moved forward with legislation to approve supplemental appropriations, including about $279,000 for the Dogwood Park project, $40,000 in debt reassurance, and a $20,000 donation from the Hoover Foundation for a master plan update. About $3.3 million in COVID relief funds were removed from the legislation to allow the city to research federal guidelines for those funds. Discussed plans to amend the city's current sidewalk replacement plan. Council will continue that discussion at its next committee meeting. Moved forward with legislation that would clarify the responsibilities of landlords for utility bills unpaid by tenants. The next council meeting will be at 7 p.m. Monday, live streamed on YouTube. SARTA launches new program to help area employers and workers. The Stark Area Regional Transit Authority is launching a new program designed to help Stark County businesses hire and retain new workers. SARTA CEO Kirk Conrad said employers who participate in the program will receive a free 31-day fixed route bus pass for new and current employees to use for travel to and from work. We know that the lack and cost of transportation can pose a problem for people who haven't been on the job long enough to earn a couple paychecks, Conrad said in a prepared statement. This new program is an obvious solution. Employees with verified transportation issues will be eligible to receive one free 31-day fixed route pass. The transit system will restock passes as needed and work with employers to coordinate the program and ensure its success. For more information about the Free Pass program, employers can contact Director of Customer Relations Latrice Virola at 330-430-1036 or L. Virola, Virola, at sartaonline.com. 2 new police cruisers to be bought in Alliance by Paige Bennett. The city plans to purchase 2 new cruisers for the Alliance Police Department. City Council voted during a meeting on Monday to allow Director of Public Safety and Service Director Michael Dreger to enter contracts to replace the patrol vehicles for an amount not to exceed $103,000. Council also approved an ordinance for Dreger to enter contracts for the purchase of a new truck for the distribution department at a cost no greater than $32,000. Looking ahead with police cruiser purchase, Dreger said the purchases were previously approved in the budgeting process. The new vehicles will replace current ones that are dated. We're finding that getting things ordered and delivered is much slower right now with COVID delays, so we want to get going on that as soon as we can, he said. Council also went into executive session to discuss the purchase or sale of real estate, but no action was taken. COVID-19 cases in Alliance. Mayor Alan Andrini provided an update on COVID-19 in the city. He said Alliance had 64 positive cases in March, not including the last week of the month. This puts us still ahead of where we were in October with more cases, and so we'll have more cases than we had 6 months ago, but they are coming down, he said. Andriani expects the Alliance Health Department to have administered 6,000 COVID vaccines by the end of the week. He also congratulated City Auditor Kevin Knowles for the city receiving a Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting from the Government Finance Officer Association for the 2019 fiscal year. In other actions, City Council voted for Dreger to enter contracts to acquire 3 single-axle trucks for the street department. In December, Alliance received a $250,000 grant from the Ohio Environmental Protection Agency and Ohio Department of Transportation to replace dump trucks and a street sweeper. Council adopted an ordinance permitting the replat of a series of lots located at the northeast corner of North Union Avenue and East Wayne Street. Expenses associated with the replat are the responsibility of the Wellert Corporation, an engineering firm based in Medina. Stark County set to approve emergency rental assistance by Kelly Byer. Stark County Commissioners are expected on Wednesday to adopt an emergency rental assistance program to provide housing stability and prevent evictions. Through the federally funded program, county residents would be eligible to receive up to 12 months of overdue rent payments if the pandemic affected their ability to pay. Payments for unpaid rent bills after March 13, 2020, and up to $50 a month in late fees would be made directly to the landlords. Susan Leninger, Deputy Director of the Human Services Division at the Stark County Department of Jobs and Family Services, presented the rental assistance plan to commissioners at Tuesday's work session. SCJFS would administer the program with $11 million in COVID-19 relief funds from the U.S. Treasury Department. We have pretty much to the letter of guidance put out, followed what the Treasury has put forth around the requirements and recommendations for documentation that's required for eligibility, Leninger said. So, we will be as flexible as possible and reasonable in requesting things that are required. That includes proof of a rental obligation, such as a lease, and the amount owed, the tenant's income and household size, and information about the financial hardship caused by COVID-19. Households with an income at or below 80% of the area median income are eligible, but households at or below 50% of the area median will take a priority. A single person earning $24,350 a year, or a family of 4 earning $34,750 a year, is considered 50% of the median income. SCJFS will also cover the first month's rent and security deposit for people who are homeless because of pandemic-related hardships, tenants with property owners who won't accept the rental assistance, and people living in unsafe or unhealthy rental properties. I think it's a much-needed program for a lot of people in Stark County, and I hope it goes as smooth as what you're planning because I know you've put a lot of effort into it, Commissioner Bill Smith said to Leninger. He and Commissioner Janet Weir-Cretin agreed to put the program on Wednesday's agenda for adoption and then increase efforts to publicize the application process. Commissioner Richard Regula was not present for the teleconference. Leninger said the goal is to begin accepting applications on Monday. Tenants or landlords can submit a single application per property or household to SCJFS, which should process the applications within 30 days, according to draft plans. The Board of Commissioners will meet at 1:30 p.m. Wednesday via teleconference. The public can listen by dialing 712-770-5389 and then enter code 692732#. That's area code 712-770-5389. Code 692732 #. Lawrence Township trustees pursue a higher vehicle license tax by Joan Porter. Lawrence Township trustees Monday meeting. Key action. In a 2-to-1 vote, they agreed to move forward with increasing the motor vehicle license tax. Trustee Sean Lockhart cast the dissenting vote, saying he didn't want to burden vehicle owners with another tax as the nation comes out of the COVID-19 pandemic. 2 public hearings on the $5 increase will be held before July 1. Dates have not yet been scheduled for those hearings. If approved by the trustees, the additional tax revenue would not be collected until July 2022. In other action, in a 2-to-1 vote, with trustees Les Camp dissenting, agreed to spend $7,200 to conduct a special election August 3rd. 2 5-year renewal fire levies will be on the ballot. If approved by voters, a 0.5 mil levy would raise just over $77,000 a year, and a 1.9 mil levy would generate $293,250 annually, according to the Stark County Auditor. Agreed to post current Ohio Department of Health COVID-19 orders at the Township Park Pavilion for use of the park. Current orders may be found at https://colon//static/static/public orders/do-social-distancing-facial-reader.pdf. Wow. Accepted all bids for road materials and heard that the road department will spend nearly $141,900 this year to chip and seal 8.17 miles of township road. Heard that the Board of Zoning Appeals will hear variance requests at 6 p.m. April 14th for an addition to a home at 8653 Mardell Avenue Northwest. Adjourned to executive session to discuss police department personnel. No action was taken upon reconvening. Up next, trustees will meet at the Administration Building at 6 p.m. April 12th to hear a rezoning request for a Beaumont Avenue property near State Route 21. The owner is requesting a change from residential R1 to business B3 to build storage units. The Township Zoning Commission and Regional Planning Commission have recommended denial. Trustees will meet in regular session via Zoom at 4:30 p.m. April 19th. An announcement of and a link to the meeting will be posted on the Township's Facebook page at Lawrence Township Trustees, Stark County. The Stark County Hunger Task Force announces campaigns. In Canton, April marks the kickoff of Stark County Hunger Task Force's 40th anniversary and Hunger at Home campaigns. The 40th anniversary runs through December, and Hunger at Home runs through the end of June. To celebrate the 40th anniversary, SCHTF will run a $40 for 40 fundraising campaign, encouraging people to make donations of $40 or more to their hunger fighting efforts. For each donation of $40 or more, donors will be eligible for raffle prizes of nostalgia items from each decade in the organization's 40 years. This will coincide with testimonials and history from each decade that will be posted on its social media and website. This campaign launched April 5th. From April to May, the 1980s. From June to July, the 1990s. From August to September, the 2000s. From October to November, the 2010s. And in December, the 2020s. In addition to its 40th anniversary, SCHTF is running its annual Hunger at Home campaign from April through June. This campaign raises awareness on how hunger affects families and individuals in our community, focusing on personal stories to illustrate the scope of hunger in Stark County. SCHTF will hold several events and engagement opportunities during this campaign. culminating with its annual Fairway to Fight Hunger golf outing on June the 12th. Visit starkhunger.org to register your team or sponsor the event. You can text HUNGER21 to 44321 to donate to the Hunger at Home campaign. Founded in 1981, Stark County Hunger Task Force at 408 9th Street Southwest battles against hunger in Stark County. Operating almost entirely on donations, SCHTF provides free groceries to over 34,000 people every month through 40 food pantries, Backpacks for Kids programs, and the emergency pantry. For more information, please call 330-455-6667, or you can visit SCHTF online at www.starkhunger.org. Dining Downtown, Changes Coming to Canton Restaurant Scene by Kelly Beyer. Some big changes are coming to downtown dining scenes. A new restaurant is opening, a longtime eatery is relocating, and 2 other local favorites are reopening under new management. Jersey's Cafe in Centennial Plaza should be open by the end of the month. Owner Chris Maggiore said he's planning a soft opening before the NFL draft begins April 29. All that remains are some final touches to the cafe's appearance, technology, and staffing. We want to open and do it right, Maggiore said. The restaurant at 330 Court Avenue Northwest will have a scaled-down Jersey's All-American Sports Grill menu: burgers, wraps, salads, boxed lunches, pizzas, and flatbreads. It also will feature Starbucks coffee and tea beverages and a small selection from Nothing Bundt Cakes. Unique to the cafe will be Dick's Conies, made with a sauce recipe that originated decades ago at Dick's Sandwich Shop in the old arcade market downtown. It later served as at Arcade Conies, which also closed last fall. So we're excited to introduce that down there again, Maggiore said. For events in Centennial Plaza, the cafe will have portable bars, 2 in front of the cafe on the northwest end and 3 along the south side. Event scheduling is being coordinated by the Pro Football Hall of Fame in partnership with the City and Canton Regional Chamber of Commerce. Maggiore said the weather and COVID-19 precautions also are being taken into consideration. The Canton Farmers Market, which begins June 12th, already announced its move to the plaza this year. The more event-driven site will add about 20 people to Jersey's staff of 300 employees throughout the area. Maggiore said staffing has been one of the greatest challenges for restaurants and other industries of late, and attributed it to the factor such as the stimulus, additional unemployment benefits, and tax refunds. Jersey's recently increased its pay to attract more people. In my 33 years of working for myself, this is the most challenging time I've ever seen in hiring staff, Maggiore said. Samantha's prepares to move. Samantha's Downtown Restaurant will start its 20th year at a new location in downtown Akron. Owner Heidi Kiefer Adams said the restaurant at 138 2nd Street Southwest will close April 30th and reopen May 3rd at 217 Market Avenue North. We just wanted to get closer to the Arts District and the Centennial Plaza, she said. Even though it's a difference of a few blocks, Kiefer Adams said, it puts the restaurant closer to downtown happenings. The move comes with an expanded menu and increased hours. Kiefer Adams said the restaurant will open from breakfast to dinner 7 days a week. It also will have a full bar. We'll be able to serve quite a few specialty cocktails with brunch, she said, along with the classic Bloody Marys and mimosas. The familiar faces of Samantha's will be at the new location, joined by about 15 new employees. Kiefer Adams said she's excited for the future in a new location. I think we have a lot to offer the community, both downtown and surrounding, she said. New owners revive local faves. Luca and Napoli's Italian Eatery restaurants, both of which closed in the past several months, are reopening under new ownership. Former owner and chef Josh Shorey closed Luca in February after about 10 years at 228 4th Street Northwest. Tony Lai, who also operates Basil Asian Bistro, said his partners and local developer Steve Kuhn didn't want to see another great restaurant go dark. They decided to take ownership of Luca and plan to reopen the Italian restaurant in mid April. We're not reinventing the wheel, Lai said. There will be some changes, and I hope for the better. The changes mainly are cosmetic, he said. The menu will feature the same dishes, and the restaurant's executive chef and many staff members are returning. Around the corner on Market Avenue North, Napoli's has been preparing to reopen under new ownership as well. Like Jersey's, one of the new owners said hiring has been a challenge. The restaurant has been closed since last fall and the subject of a legal dispute between the new owners and family members of the former owner, the late Phil DeCellis. The case is ongoing, but a Stark County Common Pleas Court judgment indicted that the Napoli name was sold along with the business and property to CT&B Inc. The restaurant offers takeout on First Friday and should open on a more regular basis in the coming weeks, eventually opening its dining room. The owners said Napoli will have a similar menu and environment that customers will recognize. Three Stooges Film Festivals planned for Saturday at the Palace Theater. The Palace Theater at 605 Market Avenue North will present a Three Stooges Film Fest on Saturday. Doors open at 6:30 p.m. and showtime is at 7:30 p.m. Admission is $10. All seating is reserved. Call 330-458-8172 or visit CantonPalaceTheater.org. That includes our reading of the Canton Repository 447. And my name is Pam. Thank you for having me in your home. Please stay safe until we meet here again.